You're watching Picks on Politics.
Welcome back to Picks on Politics. I'm Grace Gomez in for Dan Manarino. Transit and transportation are always big topics in our region, but this year, no matter how you move around New York and New Jersey, there's a lot of changes on the horizon. And of course, with all that comes a whole lot of politics. Pix 11's Greg Mocker has your new commute.
This is a place on the move. The city functions because of transit, buses and subways carrying millions. Everybody going around on the roads, bridges. Let's look ahead, 2025 transit. The biggest topic, the talker as we call it, is January 5th and the scheduled start of congestion pricing. Arriving on schedule and ready to move ahead. 2025 is here. Commuters hope for the same as they plan their rides into the next year. There's a lot on the calendar for transit and transportation.
New York gets a lot of hate when it comes to transit because even on like New Year's, the trains are running all night still. I think the scheduling has been kind of bad lately, but hopefully like with repairs and stuff like that, it comes back up.
Tim and Claudia are moving around on the holiday. A lot of work is planned, including signal work and maintenance. Two big projects. The A train won't run from Brooklyn to Rockaway, Queens, beginning January 20th through May for a storm protection project. Also, the Hoboken Path train station closes on January 30th for a month of renovation and upgrades. You'll see more accessibility and elevators around New York City in 2025. More new ones have opened in the last 5 years than the past 2 decades.
The elevators are accessible and they're working. I feel like a lot of the stations uptown right now, like they're not working.
Commuting costs will increase. Tolls on the Jersey Turnpike and Garden State Parkway went up 3% January 1st. Port Authority and PATH train increases are approved and set for January. NJ Transit is set to begin yearly 3% increases in July. The MTA has budgeted an average 4% fare and toll increase. They still have to work out the details.
If it's going up, like change and like safety should be the priority.
Congestion pricing is designed to fund billions in improvements.
Rolling stock, some really critical projects that will keep our system in a state of good repair.
Opponents say they will continue to argue against it in court. More legal proceedings are set for January and February.
We feel that state administrative procedures have not been followed, and we are looking forward to the judge hearing our case.
In 2025, we will still be seeing the Metro card. Technically, it was supposed to be phased out. It's still going to be here for the near future as the Omni rollout has been taking longer. Expect to see more machines, people using the card and their phone to tap and go. Happy New Year. At Grand Central, Greg Mocker, Pix 11 News.
From Grand Central to the Picks on Politics set are very busy because it's been a busy year.
There's always something going on. I'm always running around.
Greg Mocker joining me now. Thank you for being with us here on Picks on Politics. So the Metro card lives. How long is it sticking around?
For the foreseeable future.
Wow.
You know, I think I'm always going to keep it in my wallet. Makes me feel comfortable.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have a token. That was before my time, but I kind of like the swipe. Yeah. But I'm an Omni user, so I'm using my phone to kind of tap and go. And we're going to be seeing more of this as they install more of those, more of the machines. So hold on to this still. It's gonna. They haven't set a date yet, so it could be a couple years.
I thought they had disappeared. I'm gonna go get one just so I can keep one myself.
It's nostalgia, but it still works.
Yeah. So sticking with the report, we saw a lot of increases, tolls, fare hikes happening in every which way you can drive in and around the city. There are big promises of improvement, but the question is, how quickly are we going to see those?
Yeah, and that's always the question. Some of them are fast when they close down a station and then they clean it or they remodel it. We see new train cars or we see a new bus. But some of the projects, and a lot of them, take such a long time. And I think that's where kind of the disconnect comes from. So much planning goes into making things happen. I always want a good commute, a good, safe commute. I think the MTA is working towards that. But, it takes billions of dollars just to operate and run the system, and that takes time.
And one of the biggest political fights this year, and now into new 2025, the new year, is congestion pricing.
Congestion, our favorite topic.
And the legal battles continue into the final hour. New Jersey is actually not going down without a fight if congestion pricing continued as planned and goes into effect at midnight on Sunday. Do you foresee the challenges continue?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's been decades in the making to get to this point, so there's going to be a debate. I think even if it should be in effect or if it's not, they're going to be talking about that. No matter what happens, it's always going to be kind of a point of contention. But that's because the MTA says it needs this dedicated revenue stream in order to make the big projects happen.
You know, you've been covering this extensively, majorly, you know, in 2024, grand part of 2024, and now in 2025. We've seen a lot of back and forth between New Jersey and the MTA. Do you think that's going to subside?
Never. I mean, it's kind of a rivalry, isn't it, between the two states? But there is a spirit of cooperation. The Port Authority exists, and that's kind of a two-state agency. So they have to cooperate. They have to get along. I always think of it like my little brother or sister. Sometimes my New Jersey friends won't appreciate that. But, you know, we got to work it out. And I think that's kind of what is happening now. This kind of dialogue, and maybe that should have happened earlier in the congestion pricing discussion.
And out of all the big projects slated for our transit system, which are you most excited for and which will have the biggest impact? I
always want a safe ride, so I say that first, safe and relatively on time. I like that the subway is sometimes my excuse for being late, because we got delayed. But the elevators, the accessibility is something that people can really see, and it really helps, you know. People with strollers, people that are living with a disability, just trying to get around. Having the elevators there, that's a big thing. More have opened recently than ever before, and more are planned.
Yeah, it's definitely improvements needed on our transit system. Greg Mocker, thank you for coming in on Politics. Picks on Politics. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next, a look at the new laws on the books for 2025 in both New York and New Jersey. Picks on Politics is back in 2 minutes.